And joining us again, always great to welcome our next guest. She's been with us many times before, and a good friend to the show, good friend of mine, and a good friend of yours out there. She has a brand new CD out. We're going to talk about that and other things. She's touring around the country doing her great shows in tribute to her dad, Dean Martin. We're joined, of course, by Deana Martin today, and our new CD is called Destination Moon. And Deana, I know it's been about 8, 9 months since we chatted when you were in this part of the country here in Florida. Good to talk to you again. How are you?
Well, thank you. I am excellent, and it is always a pleasure to talk to you.
Always
My
fun.
darling Doug.
Yeah, we try and do this at least once a year, and maybe more. I know last year we chatted a little bit before your gig in Vegas. Had a chance to come out and see you out there at the Smith Center. I know you're doing that again this December, right?
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to that. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And doing the Christmas show is great. 'Cause you only get to do it like 1 month out of the
Right.
year.
That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that venue. I'm going to try and get out there this year again. I'll let you know about it. If,
Oh, really?
put it together. Last year we tried to get our bunch of college buddies and do it. I'm working on them again, so we're going to try and get out there.
Them and, yes, that would be.
Even if they don't go, I might just come out by myself. So I'll let you know.
Well, that would be wonderful. And I think we're doing 3 nights. And did I only do 2 nights last time? But I think we're doing 3. So
You did 2 nights and a Sunday matinee, I believe, last year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But
And
I would love to visit with you when we get out.
yeah, I think you're doing like the 19th or 20th, something like that, 21st. It's a beautiful venue, the Smith Center, which is a great cabaret room out there. Did you like that? Did you enjoy that?
I loved it. Yes, I'm not always a fan of having to enter from the back, and walk through.
Right.
Because it's a long way to walk, and you have to kind of get your timing down right. But it's a beautiful venue. The people there are lovely and great audiences. It's always nice when you get a responsive audience who gets the humor and loves the songs, and of course, what better time of the year than the most wonderful time of the year is Christmas time.
There was a good audience that night. I mean, you could feel a special, feeling with that audience. At least I got that impression. Did you get that?
Yes, exactly. And you know what? It's so much fun, Doug. When that happens, there's like a little magic in the air.
Yeah, you can feel it.
They're getting it, and there's an excitement, and people are loving it, and so it goes both ways. You feel that from the audience, and then you give it back to the audience, and it's a wonderful. It makes for a really fun show.
I got the feeling, and I would have loved to have been out there. I think we've talked about it before back in the Rat Pack days. But I get that feeling that must have been what it was like. I mean, what you did that night, that feeling with your dad and Frank and Joey and Peter.
Yes, it's like you knew, and you could feel it. And I think I've said it before when my dad would walk out, and then I would be seated there around everybody, and you would hear them go, "Oh, there he is!" It was just excitement, and they just loved it because he made, he just gave a great show. And this is in the days when, of course, people would just walk out and sing, songs, and do the show. It wasn't, all the videos and all of the pyrotechnics and 80 dances. It was just like a singer and their music and the humor, and but it was electric and exciting.
I know they had some structure, what songs they're going to do, but they did a lot of ad-libbing too, didn't they? As far as what songs they'd sing, I mean, they'd say, "Oh, let's try this one now." I mean, they would switch it around, wouldn't they?
A lot of that, and but they had such. First of all, they were always so Dean, Frank, and Sammy. They were always so generous with each other. There wasn't competition. They weren't, they loved for the others to shine because they were all in it together. They were, 3 guys, 3 incredibly talented singers and entertainers who were up there having a great time with themselves, and we felt like we were in on their party, the audience. And they would do what they wanted to do, but they were such pros, and that they could mix it up, and it was just a tremendous show.
Yeah, since we talked last, I know last year we chatted a bit about the Dean Martin variety show videos. You were talking about that last year through Time Life. I happened to get some of those over the summer, and the uncut ones, which really gives you that, the complete shows, and
Exactly.
just watched all, about 5 or 6 of them over the summer, and those were great. I mean, those were a lot of fun. I guess you probably got a lot of feedback in the last year on those, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. Wherever I go, not to mention when I think about the production that went into those, with the writers and the dancers and the musical numbers and the people that were on the show, it was like putting on a Broadway show, once a week, with new characters.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a tremendous amount of work. And Lee Hale, who was, he was the one who really put that all together, all the special musical numbers and all of that. And he's a dear friend of ours. He's 91 years old now.
Wow.
And he is amazing. He also wrote the book Backstage at the Dean Martin Show, which is a very interesting book. But they are now putting together, they have out the new, the Celebrity Roasts, or just came out October.
I saw that, yeah, they kind of issued them again. I saw the infomercial for that. Great infomercial, too, by the way.
I know, I could just sit there and watch the infomercial.
Oh, they're great, yeah.
It's so much fun. But these, I believe, are uncut. And,
oh, great.
So, which is really, really nice. But for me, to see all of these, all of the celebrities who were on it, it's amazing. Everybody wanted to be, first of all, they wanted to be on Dad's television show, on the variety show, but they wanted to be on the roasts, and they were just so funny. But to watch my dad with tears coming down his eyes, laughing so hard.
Now, did you go to any of those when they recorded those? Were you in the MGM?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I was at the MGM. And also, they started they set up a little set at the Dean Martin
In the studio, right? Yeah.
In the studio, and it started there. And it became such a big hit that's when they went to, the MGM, and they made history.
I know the ones, whenever Don Rickles got up, your dad would just fall apart.
Yes.
And Don just made it up. I don't think he had a script. I think he just went.
So you never knew what was coming out of his mouth, and it was a little scary, and that was made it exciting. But boy, is he funny. He's still going strong.
I know he's scheduled, I believe, to come down this way sometime this winter. So hopefully I'll get a chance to see him. Great guy. I had a chance to talk to him one time on the phone, but very quiet guy. You know him pretty well.
Yeah.
Off stage, a quiet kind of guy, right? Very low key.
He is quiet. And Tony Pettisano is his roommate.
Sure, Tony, yeah.
Manager. And so he'll be. I just spoke to him. In fact, Tony just sent me a beautiful quote for the. For Destination Moon, and I need to get a quote from you.
I told Rosario I'll write up something. I'll send it to her. Yeah, we'll send it out.
She asked me to remind you before I came down to the studio to talk to you, and so Tony's out there with.
How's Tony doing? Okay, yeah.
He's doing good.
Great.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a doll. What a hard worker.
Yeah, again, for people that haven't been with us before, Deana and John and Les Brown Jr., Tony, they all came in studio a few years ago down here in Sarasota, one of our favorite shows that we ever did, and look forward to doing that again. But Tony, quite a character. You can tell he's in show business.
Yes, he is Mr. Show Business. And then with Les Brown, and Les, of course, he lives, like 2 blocks from me, and when I gave him the Destination Moon CD, he played it, He wrote such a nice review, and he called me. He said, "Deana, I just love it. It's a great CD." And, so I said, well, thank you very much.
I've been reading some of the reviews on Facebook. I know you have some of the different radio guys you've been with, and tremendous. I mean, all the CDs you put out have been great, but this one seems to be getting incredible, like early press on this that even you hadn't had before. Is that true, you think?
Yeah, this one's kind of taken off in a whole different...
in a different way, I mean, not,
In a different... Yes, no, but I know, but in a different way, and it's for me, I think it's the best CD yet, that I have made, and I think the song, I think it has to do with the song selection, and also for me to be able to sing the duet with my dad.
Yeah.
I know that has perked people's ears up, of course, and I was so proud and happy to be able to put it on this CD. But I think the song selection and the arrangements and the whole thing, it just turned out exactly the way we wanted it to, and people are responding and loving it.
Great picture on the front. You're standing in front of a blue moon.
Yes, yes. And that was actually the super moon. And,
right, a few months ago, yeah.
Yes, and in fact, and it was inspired by that, because I was thinking, well, maybe we were going to call the CD True Love, because I was doing the duet with Dad, and then we saw the moon, and we were recording Destination Moon, and John and I sat there and we thought, wait a minute, wouldn't it be great if it was called Destination Moon? And then he kind of dreamed up the whole thing, and it came to fruition, and it turned out it's just beautiful.
Yeah, great photo. And just go over some of the songs on it. You got a lot of people don't really realize or maybe remember Peggy Lee was a great songwriter, and you do one of her songs on here, kind of kick off the album.
I
You
love
knew Peggy, I guess, right? You must have seen her over the years on your dad's show, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
A few times, of course, and she was just one of my favorites. In fact, there's this one time she was on the Dean Martin show, and it was Dad, Peggy Lee, and Jack Jones. It's one of my favorite numbers of all times, and they were doing. Oh gosh, I can't remember. In fact, my godfather wrote this song. I Can't Give You Anything But Love, Baby.
Oh yeah.
So it was the three of them, and it's something to see. She had on, a red sequin dress, standing between, two gorgeous guys, and they all sang great. It was wonderful. So Peggy Lee has always had a place in my heart, and I love being here with you. So we put that one on, of course, and open the CD with that, and I open my show now with that song.
She had a kind of a very low key but very sexy. I don't know if I'm describing it right, but just the way she came on stage, just kind of in a whisper, didn't really talk too loud, didn't sing loud, but it was there.
Yeah, and and it's funny. Her granddaughter is writing. I think they're putting together her life story, her memoir.
Yeah.
And she wanted her granddaughter. She said, make sure that people know that I was spicy. I said spicy. Yeah, she said she wanted people to know that she was that way. She was just an amazing, very very sexy lady.
Yeah, a great singer, and some of the other songs, really one of the favorites I've always listened to over the years with Nat King Cole. You do a great job on Frim Fram Sauce. That's a fun song.
Thank you.
I hadn't heard you sing that before. I don't think you did it in the show last January, but that's a great song.
No, it's brand new for the album, along with G Baby, Ain't I Good to You, and I don't think you've heard Beyond the Sea by me.
I hadn't. No, of course Bobby Darin did that, but yeah, you do a great rendition of that.
Oh, thank you. And then of course we have a few new songs on here, and
Break It To Me Gently with Juice Newton. That was a hit for her,
yes,
right?
Juice, and but originally Brenda Lee.
Is that right? That's right. Brenda Lee did that. Okay.
Brenda Lee
that.
did
Yeah.
it, and so Brenda had a country, and then a little bit not so country with Juice, and now it's big band with me. But it's just a classic, fabulous song, and I love to sing it. But I've always loved it. So.
I know when you were kind of putting the album together, you'd sent out some. Rosario sent some emails for suggestions. Did you get a lot of those from around the country, songs to put on the album?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And in fact, people had, I got so many requests, and so it definitely has to be another album.
Oh, good.
and I'm already, of course, working on songs for the new album because you have to, I have to keep going. I have like my bucket list
of
songs that I have to sing, but. What is so much fun is G.I. Jive, Johnny Mercer.
Yeah, big band song from the World War II song. Yeah.
World War II. And I started, when I was doing shows, I love to do shows for the veterans. And that was one that I picked out to do for them, and they always loved it. And I said, well, we've got to put it on the album. So we have such an incredible mix of songs on the album. And, I looked at John, my handsome husband John, and I said, are they all going to work together in one album? He said, absolutely. If we sequence them correctly, one will seamlessly move into the next, and he was right.
When you listen to the CD, it's like listening to one of your shows. It blends, and that's important in a CD. You can't just put a bunch of songs on there and hope it goes. You have to kind of plan that, don't you?
Yes, that's exactly right, and it's kind of like and I'm glad that you said that because we put it together like a show.
Yeah.
Starting out with I Love Being Here With You, and then ending with True Love. But for me, I have bought so many albums in my life where only maybe 2 or 3 songs are great on it. And sometimes a lot of the songs start sounding alike.
Right.
And you go, and you go, okay.
Heard that already.
Yeah, heard that already. Yeah. Didn't we just hear that? And with this one, it's always a new song, a new tempo, and there's a science in it too. You don't want to end a song on one note when you're starting the next song on the same note.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to, so it's all interesting.
And when you build a live show too, you have to think that way, don't you? I mean,
yes.
Up tempo, then maybe a ballad, and maybe like a novelty song thrown in there just to kind of balance it out, right?
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. Because you don't want to have the same tempo that people can start to fall asleep, or we already heard that. You're absolutely right.
Before we started doing the interview tonight, we were kind of chatting a little bit and about a song that somebody you just recently met wrote, "Read Between the Lines." That's a great number. I had not heard that song either. You put that on the album.
Isn't that beautiful?
It sounds like a standard, though. I mean, it probably will be eventually, but it sounds like a standard, like it's been around a while.
Exactly, and there's something about Joseph Baldessar he's classic, and when he came to my show at first of all at Feinstein's, and he's after the show he said, "Deana, I think I have a song for you," and I said, "Well, great, send it to us," and we did, and the first time John and I heard it, we said, "Wow, it's a great song. It is like a standard song." So we recorded it, and I sang it last year at Dix Hills, the Performing Arts
Center. Oh yeah, my hometown area, Long Island. Yeah.
Long Island. So then, do you know Nelson DeMille?
I know the name, but I've been away from there so long.
He's my favorite author ever. He wrote The General's Daughter.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, so Nelson DeMille lives there, and I've always adored him. And he found out that I was going to be at the Dix Hills, and he came to the show, which was really a lot of fun. And I usually invite 3 volunteers to sing backup for me on Memories Are Made of This, and he came up and he sang backup. But anyways, sometimes I go off on tangents, but that night Joseph Baldessar brought his uncle, and they were sitting in the front row, and I sang the song in between. I think it was a Harry Warren song, and then I did Read Between the Lines by Joseph Baldessar, and then I did one by Cole Porter. And Joseph looked up to me. He said, "Thank you so much for putting me in between, Harry Warren and Cole Porter." And I said,
great company.
Beautifully. Yes, exactly. So that was fun.
And of course, we mentioned a few moments ago kind of the highlight of the album, of many highlights on it, but the duet with your dad, and you do that in your stage shows too. I got to see that in Vegas, and then again when you were down here in Florida with the video. So that's a nice moment on the album.
It is, isn't it? And people have, they've sent me letters saying, I didn't know that it was going to be on there, and I cried when I heard it, and it's nice. It's a touching, beautiful song. The arrangement is gorgeous. Of course, John found the original Nelson Riddle arrangement,
right?
And we went to Florida and recorded it with all of our great musicians. And it turned out great. I have to say it was difficult for me singing it when I heard, first of all, the beautiful arrangement, and then when I heard my dad, his voice coming in the earphones, and I was holding his original sheet music.
Oh, yeah.
The Dean, handwritten up there. So it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's here with me, and it was quite something. I couldn't get through it the first time.
Well, I know you say in the live shows that before you sing it, you tell a little story about it, and you say sometimes it's difficult even doing it in the live shows, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And sometimes I try not to turn around and look at the photos and the home movies
right.
and things, and but I've just got to concentrate and keep the concentration and go through it. But it's a touching, moving, wonderful.
Yeah, people that obviously knew your dad or just from watching him love your dad and you, so it's a nice moment for the audience. But I know as performing it, it's got to be kind of a double-edged sword a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
Emotionally.
Yeah, it is. It is, but it's an important part of the show, and it's an important song. So it's, and I just feel that he's with me when we do that song. So it's quite something for me.
Yeah, Destination Moon is the name of the CD, and getting great airplay all over the country. I guess it's a whole different ball game now, though, Deana, with a lot of radio stations. It's not as much musical stations out there, but I guess there's shows out there, so you have to kind of make the rounds, don't you?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, and there's not. What happened to all of our radio stations?
I don't know. I'm asking that question myself.
Yes.
I mean, as
Well,
far as
thank
music
God
goes, you know.
as far as music goes,
Yeah.
exactly. And thank God for you, Doug Miles. This is
Well,
thank you
I
for
keep playing it, and actually there's a station down here, Deana, and I don't know all the details yet, but I understand there's going to be playing this type of music. The new owner is coming in, and he wants to do this. So I'm meeting with him hopefully Saturday, so I'll let you know, and then that could be another venue down here. So.
Oh, fantastic. I
Yeah.
will say my prayers for
Yes,
you.
we need more
You know,
stations
we
that
have
play the standards.
Yes, we need more stations to do that because it's just the greatest music ever written, and it's and people love it. I just wish that it was on a top 40 station so that other people and other age groups could hear this wonderful music.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to Michael Bublé and Rod Stewart for singing the song,
Right.
singing it to wider range of people. But it's I just love it.
I was driving home when the show you did down in Florida last January, or actually it was late January, and flipped on the Sirius, the Sinatra channel, and first song that came up was you singing. One of the songs you just sang that night. So you're on there. I hope they told you.
On the Sinatra, yes.
Yeah.
I'm of course very good friends with Seriously Sinatra. And in fact, now I don't know, did I tell you about the Seriously Sinatra Father's Day show we did?
No.
It was on, and I wish I had called you, and I could kick myself that I didn't. We went into Capitol Studios, and we sat in Studio A, and it was me, Tina Sinatra, Natalie Cole, Monica Mancini, and Daisy Torme.
Wow.
And we sat around talking about our dads on Father's Day for 2 hours, and we played our favorite Nat King Cole song or Mel Torme song, and we all talked about what it was like growing up with our dads, and then of course Natalie, they played Unforgettable, Nat and Natalie, and then they played my song True Love with Dad, and of course a beautiful song that Monica Mancini had written, and we played those, and it was just the most wonderful afternoon. And they must have played it. I guess they reran.
Rerun? Oh, okay. I didn't. I
Yes,
guess that was over the weekend, so I probably didn't have it on. But yeah, that's great.
Probably, and it was. We went to Florida right after we did that, and I listened to it, and it was so much fun to listen to and to hear, and you could tell who was talking. It's tough when you have 4 ladies or 5 ladies together, and we're all talking about my dad, so well, or your dad. But you could tell all of our different personalities, after about 2 minutes, and it was a great show. And maybe they'll rerun it next year. I hope.
Yeah, that's great. I got to look at that. See if that's anywhere. But earlier this summer, another guy that's become a good friend of ours, Steve March Torme. I don't know if you know Steve very well.
Yeah.
He's been on with us a few times. He's a big sports guy, so we had him on our sports show. But we talked a little bit about, obviously, his dad as well. But I mentioned that, you and I had seen each other recently, so he sent his regards. But I don't know if you knew him very well or not.
Well, we did a show.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We did a show at the Cerritos Performing Arts Center.
Oh, all right.
Yes, and that was a couple of years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. He's a very talented guy, and I mean, just Mel Torme, please. He was just amazing.
He was. Yeah, I got to see him a couple of times in New York and down here a few times. But yeah, great. Not only singer but musician. I mean, he wrote a lot of arrangements and stuff. Yeah, he's good.
Well, Daisy Torme brought his the original White Christmas arrangement that he did. Well,
oh, right.
The song.
Yeah.
But she brought it to the Father's Day thing at Capitol Records, and so we all looked at that. And of course, Natalie said, "Is this the one that my dad sang?" I mean, it was such history was there. There we were at Capitol Studios with this chart that Mel Torme had written that Natalie.
The Christmas song,
It was quite. Yes, the Christmas song. And that's on my Christmas album too.
It is,
well,
yeah.
I recorded it also.
That song put probably a lot of kids of those singers through college, just alone.
That's exactly right. And we are grateful.
I know he tells the story. He wrote that. It was a really hot day in, I guess, Beverly Hills, I mean,
Yeah.
really hot, and he just wanted to do something to cool off. He sat at the piano and wrote it in about a half an hour or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you go, how could that happen? It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous song.
Yeah. But I didn't realize, I just, by accident, on YouTube, just checking around, I didn't know there was another Torme singer, James Torme, that's a singer as well. I don't know if you know him at all. I just discovered that about a couple of weeks ago. So there's another son that sings this type of music, jazz. Yeah.
Yes. Now I wonder if I've done a show with him also.
Yeah, I didn't know. I know he had several children in show business, but I didn't know that. I knew Steve, but I didn't know James was a singer as well. So they're all out there. You're all doing the job of carrying
We're
on
all
the legacy.
doing the job, and Daisy's out doing her voiceovers. So, she has
Is that what she does? Okay.
Yeah, she does voiceovers, and you've probably heard her a million times, didn't even know it. But gosh, we'll have to check into James.
Yeah, I just literally discovered it by accident on YouTube, but that's a great place to find. Another place you can find this type of music, people performing it. But
that's yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Well, I know you got a lot of things on your itinerary. I just checked your website, but you're heading out west, I know, to do a couple of gigs in California, and I think you're heading back east too before you go down to Vegas, or over to Vegas, I should say.
Off to the
Bronx.
The
The Bronx, yeah.
Yes, the Lehman Center, and that should be a lot of fun. And of course, Bucky Pizzarelli will be playing the guitar for me there. I have great musicians, and I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to, of course, all of the shows. And I love to get Facebook messages and emails from people, and so they can go to DeanaMartin.com. But I can't wait to see you at Christmas time at the Smith Center.
I'll be there, whether it's with the college buddies or whoever, but I'll be out there. I'll let you know. Probably come out for that weekend. I think it's Friday through Sunday you're there, so I'll probably be out there I'll let you know in advance. We had a good time last year. You invited up the former Lieutenant Governor of Nevada. That was fun to meet her.
That's right.
She's a character.
Lorraine.
Lorraine, yeah.
Absolutely. She is amazing. Now, was that? Did Rich Little come out that night?
I think that was the next day, or maybe the
next day.
I think you said the next day he came by. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was so funny. He knocked on the, because it's the.
You do like your dad did with the door. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And he came out the first time as Ronald Reagan, and then he went back. And he did his thing, and then he knocked on the door again, and he came out the next time, and he was my dad. And then I think the last time he came out as Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
it was quite something. It's always so much fun to see who's going to walk through that door.
He
behind that
he was doing a show out there. I didn't get to see him, but he was doing a show out there at the Las Vegas Hotel. I think a tribute to Jimmy Stewart, like a one-man show.
Yes,
and
he is.
He's touring. I think he's going to be coming down our way to Venice, Florida this spring. I saw that in the schedule, so I look forward to talking to him. But
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
He's such a talented man, and he's been around forever.
Oh yeah.
And he's still just so great and funny and wonderful. So another national treasure.
Who was another? I should remember his name. I apologize for not, but Lieutenant Governor's husband that we met.
Dennis Bono.
Dennis Bono, yeah, I should have remembered
Yes.
that because he does a great show out there, and I had a chance to talk to him. Nice man.
He's a very nice man, and I will be doing his show again on the Thursday. He usually does it every Thursday. I'll be doing it the Thursday before the show.
South Point Hotel.
At the South Point, right. And the last time I did it was not too long ago, a few months ago.
I saw it posted on Facebook, yeah, that you were going to be on
Lewis.
it. Yeah. Oh, Jerry.
It was Jerry Lewis and Steve Lawrence and me.
Wow.
And that was quite something.
That's a lineup.
It was a lineup, and Jerry was, he was wild and crazy.
I'm guessing Jerry kind of took over, or tried to.
Jerry did. Well, it's funny, and Dennis was a little nervous about it. He says, what's going to happen? I said, don't worry. You've got me and Steve Lawrence here. and Jerry was just great, and he was the 9-year-old kid that he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss them on the telethon. I think they did a bad job. I mean, MDA does great work, don't get me wrong, but they did a very bad job of not giving him a chance to at least say goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, that was, for me, just totally mishandled.
Yeah.
I mean, just so wrong.
It was awful how they did it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and, even Tony Orlando, I mean, he told me too, because Tony left then also. And Tony
Oh, he left too? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was vice president of that.
I know he was on every year. Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, I went to New York to do it with him, the one in New York, and then he, of course, we have the regional chapter here in Missouri, in Springfield, Missouri, and he would come down. He's come to the show. I host it every year, and it was just, and he did show up last year for me, but he came out and he was just so upset with what had happened, and it's wrong.
And I give Jerry credit because I know he wanted to talk about it, but he said he wouldn't.
Yeah, but he's got too much class
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, because there was something that must have happened behind the scenes because that didn't make any sense to not let him at least come out and say goodbye. I mean, the man raised $2 billion. You got to give him something.
I know.
Credit for that.
I know. And all of Jerry's kids.
Yeah.
You know?
But anyway, yeah, Jerry. I guess he's doing okay. I saw him in an interview recently. I guess he's hanging in there, Jerry.
He is. He's the comeback kid.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm glad you reminded me. I've got to give him a call. I sent him Destination Moon, of course, and I will be waiting for a review from him.
Oh, great. He's coming down here. He's on the schedule for Van Wezel, so a rare appearance down here. I look forward to hopefully getting a chance to talk to him. Yeah.
Yes. Well, he's an amazing man and a dear friend. For my whole life.
I know you did the duet with him on one of the telethons a few years ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
Time after time.
Time after time.
Yeah. And I've got to pull that out again and take a look at that.
Yeah. Great.
This is like old home week here. You're reminding me of a lot of things. Good memories that are happening.
Oh, I know. And then of course Steve. I mean, sad that we lost Edie, but
I know.
But a great career she had, and I didn't realize she was a little bit older than he was till recently. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And she was just probably one of the finest singers I've ever.
Oh, one of the best.
I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah.
What she could do, and to see them together, what a fantastic show.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a chance to see them a few times. A couple of years ago, I think she did her final tour through Florida because she had to kind of retire. I think she had some health issues, but she was still singing great then. It wasn't the voice; it was just other things, I guess, that she couldn't,
It was
travel.
the body, the knees and the back.
The knee, yeah, right.
Yeah, and so what are you going to do? But he's amazing, and he's doing great.
Now, is he going to be tour? I know he's taking some time off, obviously, but is he going to be working touring? You think, or?
I'm pretty sure that he will be out there singing, and he is so funny and such a good guy. We just adore him, and I know that he will be out there. He's still wonderful. I mean, he's just one of the best singers I ever heard.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to him a few times. Really, talk to you like he knew you for years. I mean, a great guy.
Didn't he have a great sense of humor?
Oh yeah, and when he's on the Carol Burnett show, I mean, good actor and very funny with the jokes. I mean, all around entertainer. So yeah.
And and he did. Didn't he do a TV series, a couple things with Don Rickles?
I think they did one of those like blooper kind of shows. Yeah, you're right. They did that together. Yeah.
I had forgotten about that, but the two of them together is hysterical too. But
when TV was still pretty good.
That's right.
I mean, variety-wise, there's some good shows now, but there's no variety anymore.
No, there's none.
Yeah.
And well, it might be because it costs so much. I mean, it's.
I wonder. I mean, there's obviously not a lot of talent out there because you look at the talk shows. There's not many people that go on there and sing. But I wonder how much it would cost. I guess it would be kind of prohibitive, I suppose.
Probably now, with, because you have all the unions and all of, and now with YouTube and all of that, it's so hard to be able to pay people. And you have to figure out, well, what percentage goes here and what goes here, and it gets to be crazy.
Now, was that an issue with your dad's shows? I guess that's always kind of a problem with the old variety shows because there's music involved, right? Yeah.
Yes, because of the music, because all the writers and all the musicians on the show have to be paid. So I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
The amount of money that you have to spend. That's why it's very difficult to put them back on TV because everybody has to. AFTRA will be right there.
Nothing wrong with that, but it is kind of a shame that we can't see those shows, because they were so great. It makes it harder for people to appreciate them because kids today don't even know they exist, unfortunately.
I know. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and it is a shame, but I don't know how to. Who knows how to fix it?
Yeah. But I guess through the DVDs, I mean, at least they can get them that way. But
Yeah, yeah. But isn't it great just to be in your living room and turn on the TV
I
and see
know.
one of those great shows? You know,
Thursday night at 10,
Thursday night at 10.
Channel
The
4.
original. Very good.
I
Yes,
remember that.
NBC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
NBC.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Well, nine years, I guess, was the variety show. Then they did the roasts for several years after that. So it was like 15 years altogether, wasn't it, when you combined them?
Oh yeah, it was a long time, and he was right up there on top, and there was no one who could do it better.
I mean, the ratings were always there. I think he just left because he wanted to do something else or maybe retire, right? But I mean, the ratings were still strong at the end.
Yes, you know what, and he had done it, so he was so great and so easy and laid back. It was like, okay, I'll do it. No, okay, well maybe, yeah, I'm gonna go play golf. I'll go, sing some.
Well, he gave them, didn't he, when they first negotiated with him, he just gave them a real nuisance number, hoping they'd say no, and they said yes, right? Wasn't that almost the story?
Exactly. And I loved it when he came home and told us. But when he said, I'm going to ask them for some ridiculous amount of money and they'll turn me down, he said, and then I'm going to tell them that I never want to rehearse, and that I only want to tape the show on Sunday afternoon after I play golf. He said, for sure they won't hire me. And then he came back the next day. He said, they hired me. And they gave him that ridiculous amount of money. But it was, so it was just...
So they literally just taped that on the weekends then, right? I mean, they didn't...
Well, when we would do the show, those of us who were going to be on the show, we rehearsed, went down there every day for a week. And we would do the musical numbers and the bits and rehearse and then go to costume fittings and make up this and the hair and all of that. And then it wasn't until Sunday afternoon when Dad would get there, and it would be the dress rehearsal, and then we would do the show. So, and Lee Hale, who was amazing, he would stand in for Dad. He had a little card on his chest that said Dean, and so he would get out there and he would sing. If it was Peggy Lee or Ella Fitzgerald or Lena Horne, Lee Hale would stand in for Dad and sing the number with them all through the week. And then night of the show, then Dad would walk in and stand there and sing this song with them. And it was remarkable that he could do it, and he was perfect every time. And if he made a mistake, everybody would laugh, and sometimes they would just leave them in.
Right.
And that was his.
There's a great clip with him and Carol Lawrence where they make a mistake, but they left it in the show. I guess a note was played wrong or something, and your dad kind of made fun of it, and then they did it again. But then I guess the joke fell flat, and he said nobody's laughing because we just made a mistake or something. But it made it better because he admitted there was a mistake.
Right. Yeah. And that was what was so great about Dean Martin. I mean, he just everything kind of rolled off his back. It was all right, and he was just so charming, and he had that look in his eye, and people just adored him. And it looks like he knew something that we didn't know.
It did, right?
I mean, didn't it? And he.
Did he ever let on?
What? He was just great and funny, and sweet and kind. He just, kept to his business, did his thing, and was just loving and sweet. Loved to play golf, and he would show up. Of course, he was always on time. He was never late, and he knew what he was supposed to do. But that going into NBC on Sunday afternoon after he'd play golf and walk out there and do the show was just brilliant. He was brilliant.
But maybe the best build for a tux. He just looked like he was born to wear a tux.
Didn't he?
In those shows.
And he had a few of those, and he just looked so comfortable in it.
He did. I mean, you see some guys in a tux, it looks like it's a kind of a show, but it looked like he felt comfortable in the tux. And Frank did too. Frank Sinatra had that look too, but I think your dad even more so.
I think so, and but he always looked elegant. He always looked, classy and classic. And he was just, if he had on, khaki-colored slacks and a white polo shirt and his, a V-neck cashmere sweater, he was just as comfortable as he was in his tuxedo. He was just that way.
And those great duets, just again, some of the videos I saw over the summer, the newer ones, Now I didn't really know a lot about Caterina Valenti, but he and she did a great duet in that one of those shows.
Yes.
Really,
Yes,
I mean, a long medley. I mean, about 10 minutes, but a great. And he loved doing those medleys. I think he seemed to enjoy those.
He did. He got a kick out of it, you know. I mean, because he knew all those songs. You know, I mean, he'd been singing all of his life. You know, he was a young boy in Steubenville, Ohio, and he knew all of those songs. And what was brilliant is that Lee Hale, who put the musical numbers together, he knew the songs that Dad knew, and he knew the ones that would be easy for him to do, and of course, with somebody else, because of his key, and
right.
You know, he put those together with Ella Fitzgerald, or with, as I say, Lena Horne, or Petula
Clark, yeah,
or Caterina Valente, and it was just perfect the way they did it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
You just don't see that on. You don't see any medleys anymore on TV. Those kind of a staple of the variety shows. You know, those different ones. You know, Cal Burnett would do them. You know, other shows would do them, but not anymore, unfortunately.
No, because it takes work, and it takes people who are, you know,
need talent.
Accomplished. Yeah, you need talent. People can, yeah. Where did it go, Doug? Where did it go?
I don't know. It's out there. I think you got people, you know, on Broadway and working, you know, clubs, but unfortunately, it's Miley Cyrus we have to put up with.
Unbelievable. You know. Yes, you know, but no, the great singers are out there, and they are on Broadway, and they're singing in the clubs, and some people will never hear of them, and what a shame.
No, that's the shame.
They're brilliant. You know, we've got our Steve Tyrells out there, who, you know, I just adore. And
yeah, great singer.
Yeah. So I mean, he's great, and he's keeping that alive also, and he's a good guy.
Well, the name of the CD is Destination Moon. And I've been talking with Deana Martin tonight. Get it at DeanaMartin.com, and I guess Amazon and all the iTunes, you can get it there as well. But just came out, I guess, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, doing well, and continues to go up the charts. And Deana, I know we always chat, and I keep you on longer than I say I will. Apologize for that, but we can talk for hours.
I know we could. We could just go on. I know John's waiting for his dinner.
That's right. It's dinner time out there. But we look forward to when you find out your Florida schedule. Let's do another one of these. But we look forward to seeing you out in Las Vegas in December.
I would love that. All right. I can't wait to see you. And we will be in Florida shortly, I am sure. But thank you so much for this. And thank you for keeping the music alive, my dear.
Our pleasure. And as long as you keep recording them, we'll keep playing them.
All right. That's a deal.
Thank you, Deana.
Thank you, Doug. Bye-bye.